YouTube, what's up? So I'm gonna make this one candid for y'all. I gotta say sorry because at some level I gotta take responsibility for just making myself a leader one way or another. I'm gonna attract that, I guess, just based on the design of things. People are gonna follow me, I guess. So I gotta take some responsibility for Nick's behavior and a lot of other people's behavior because they following me. So at some level I have to, realize that it's just him parroting a lot of the things from me. It's like more so like my shadow. It's like almost like all the things that were wrong with me um, crystallize into one person in a sense, or the people that do that. It's not like it's just Nick, man. I'm not gonna just say it's just Nick. Nick, I guess, is a better parasite than a lot of other ones, but there's still plenty of parasites. Like my man that looks like a pizza with all the toppings on his face that be stealing everything. People like that. It's plenty of people that's stealing. So it's nothing. And again, it's universal information. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, it came through this vessel here. So if you tell people where it came from, then they can come to me and I can tell them how I came to channeling this. And then they can go past that. They can move with actual direction instead of just moving based on, I guess their emotions and I guess people's opinions. So again, if you're following sick people, you got to be sicker. So anybody following Nick had to be sicker than him, and anybody following me, they had to be sicker than me in some regard, or they just had to have areas of them that are immature that I have matured, and I have areas that are immature in me that they might have matured. So that's why we're interfacing, because everything's a mirror. So when it comes to Nick, man, I knew he wasn't being himself for a long time. You know what I mean? Because I know what it's like to not be yourself. So I feel like the real Nick somewhere in 2019, 2020, he got left back there. So it's like you put your game on pause and you can make a bunch of moves and make a bunch of noise and do a bunch of things, but you're not moving forward. It's all lateral steps or counterproductive steps, maybe not even lateral, maybe just totally backwards. So um, I just gotta basically take myself off the pedestal constantly. I'm constantly be rabbiting myself and telling people like, you know, the don't follow me, don't watch me, watch my moves, basically. Like don't get caught up in the messenger, focus on the message. It's ever available to you. The truth is always available. There's nobody that can control the truth. If I tell the truth and somebody lies about me, they have no control over the truth itself. The truth is still available, and it's always gonna show itself, and because it's constantly present. And so, at any moment of being present, you're gonna interface with the truth. So, um, beyond that relationship, I'm gonna go into some other things. Throughout this apology video, I guess you could say. I don't like saying apologize because Apollo, being a Greek word, I probably look at the etymology of that. So I'm gonna just stick to sorry for now. But um, there's a quote that I really like, a Tupac quote, when he was saying like, if you can't teach me how to be perfect, then if you're perfect, then teach me how to be perfect. And if you can't teach me how to be perfect, then we should all find a way to get along. Then whoever's not perfect, we should all find a way to realize ourselves and realize our supposed imperfections and work beyond that and not have attachments to the limitation and work with each other to transcend the limitations. So with that said, I have a conflict of interest with Pharaoh, and I don't want to detract from Pharaoh, him as a person, or the truth that he's saying, and I don't want to mislead either, though, So I'm not gonna sacrifice my integrity because I've already done it enough. I'm not gonna sacrifice my integrity for the sake of someone's online uh, appearance. Whether it's they're consciously trying to promote that appearance or not. I'm not gonna give up my integrity anymore for that. So I just feel like we're doing edited videos. He's controlling the editing of it, and I can only ask him certain questions, and If there was things that he wanted to not talk about, then I guess we should have discussed that prior to. Because again, the podcast wasn't my idea. That was his idea. And I was paying him for his time. And once I had completed paying him for his time for the first podcast, he decided to do podcast 2 and 3. That was totally up to him. Again, I wasn't even prepared for the second one, and he wanted to do it. So it was totally his idea. And we hadn't discussed him charging people on Patreon. We just said that, hey, man, you are attractive in the field. So he's talking about me. You're attractive in the field. People will come to you, and then you can forward them to me. You can prime them and forward them to him. And I'll still do that. I still tell people to go to pharaohshouse.com. They should go there. And that's another thing, though. The site is, it malfunctions. So it's another problem. Some people are broke. I don't even have a bank account. So I know that there's people out there that don't have a debit card that can't get on the Patreon. So why are they getting blocked from the knowledge? It doesn't really make sense to me to not make it as accessible as possible, or at least do like 20 podcasts or podasodes that are maybe not the most intense, or that are just more so just universal things. Because that's where I come. That's the conclusion I've come to. Like, is this personal or is this universal? And I guess, I'm so universal that my personal can be universal. But if it's going to be personal and we're going to talk about my personal life, then I'm going to have to talk about your personal life then, Pharaoh. And that's where we stand here, where I don't want to detract from what you're saying. And you're never going to let me say the things about, my personal encounters with you, as far as like meeting the avatar, and being, and having the idea of Pharaoh be mortalized. Once you meet the avatar and you meet this person that's supposed to be this thing to you, it's, it is what it is, man. So I'm just saying basically that it's I'm not gonna prop up the idea of Pharaoh. He's done things in front of me that I would never condone. As far as dietary things, putting things in your body, things that I would never condone. A client that I put on to him said, I can't vouch for it because I wasn't there, but the guy has nothing to gain by saying what he said. He said he put things in his body that I would never condone or tell people to put in their body. And again, I'm not holier than thou. So, you guys see me drinking Hennessy and different things like that. I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou. I'm just saying that people need to see the whole perspective. Pharaoh has a lot of things that's valuable to the world that people, this dude is one of the wealthiest people if you're talking about knowledge itself and true value. I feel like he's great for the world. I feel like everybody should reach out, connect with him, and not focus so much on the messenger as they should focus on the message. So, I've smoked weed with Pharaoh, GMO weed, all of that, all the shit he talking about that it would say things against, as far as eating GMOs or things. He's eating things in front of me that on his own volition, that I did not even suggest. That I was like, wow, you eat like that? Like, okay, you know what I mean? It's not like it was any animal products or anything, but I've heard bad things like that, though. Like I said, from the guy that was a friend of mine that became his client, he said he indulged in things that, like seafood, that I would never tell somebody to, but maybe he's lying. Maybe it's a lie. I just don't see why he would lie. He doesn't stand to gain anything. We don't speak anymore. So I don't know. All I know is the only thing I can vouch for is that he's eating trash in front of me. You know what I mean? Like, he smoked weed with me before. Like, it's plenty of things, like, as far as the avatar, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to focus on the messenger so much as I'm going to focus on the message. So I love Pharaoh, man. I really do. Again, like I said, I'm a heathen. I'll drink Henny on this thing. I'm doing my best to curb everything now. I'm being my best to curb everything now. Even the women, everything, all of it, because it's just no point. It's all redundant at this point. So I'm not even trying to attack Pharaoh. I really am. I'm not. I'm really not. I really want people to go to pharaohshouse.com. They should support his Patreon. They should follow him on Instagram. They should call him and consult with him. I figured if we did 20 podasodes about universal things, that he would have so many clients that he could charge, $250 an hour, $300 an hour. He's worth it. If not more than that, he's worth it. But, doing it this way, I feel like you're gonna block the flow of people coming your way. And supposedly, like he was telling me, that we're doing everything to move the collective forward. So if it's about moving the collective forward, to me, it's just a conflict of interest to charge for the Patreon. Like, at least, we should have did 20 videos that was more universal, I guess, maybe not as deep or something that we could, make for free so people would come. But to just make people charge off top, and then pharaohshouse.com not is always malfunctioning, half the time at least. And then people been creating profiles on pharaohshouse.com and telling me like, look, it's not working, I can't log in. So I'm like, yeah, all right, well, I'm gonna just make the videos public then. There's half my podcast anyway, so I'm gonna make it public. So that's our, conflict of interest. That's where we butted heads. I just know that to him, I'm a mortal enemy to him, and that's fine. I don't care, man. I ain't got no enemy. In the mirror is where I see my only enemy, so it's whatever. I just know it is what it is. I'm not asking him to change or nothing. I still love Pharaoh and everything he's doing, and even if it means destroying me ultimately so that the world can be content, then that's cool. But at the same time, I'm not gonna tell people to go to this person and put this person on a pedestal, as if he's like holier than them. You know what I mean? It's not the case. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in this matrix for a reason. Like, we're all in this for a reason. We're all interfacing with this for a reason. So, we're in this, whether you're a greater than outside of this matrix, that's neither here nor there. When you're here, we're all in here. We're all a little dial in here, and the dial's like a bending of the bow. The top's bent down, the bottom's bent up. It's just constant balance. If you have support from the system, then you lack natural support. If you have supernatural and natural support, you'll lack support from the system. There's no greater than or less than. The dark and the light is always going to balance out one way or another, whether it's the seen support or the unseen support, or the seen detraction or the unseen detraction. It's all balanced. It's the same for everybody. Everybody's experiencing the same thing from womb to tomb. So, that's it for me. Again, too, like it's people uploading podcasts every 10 seconds right now. It's like 1 billion podcasts right now. So for us to upload a podcast, like a drop in the podcast ocean. So I feel like we just don't have a leg to stand on to start charging off top. I really don't. I really just feel like we need to do like 20 basic bitch videos maybe. If you're not comfortable talking about more intense topics, Pharaoh, then we could do that. We could talk about things that are just more universal. But I don't know what's more universal than me, And so I feel like if we just talk about my life's experiences, it's going to tap on everybody's nerve. You know what I mean? Like, I'm universal. And I feel like, and he's the originator or the original. I'm the universal. And I feel like everything is there. But if we're going to do that, if we're going to take it personal, like I said, then we got to take it personal about you too. We can't hold you on a pedestal. We can't act like, we can't blind ourselves to anything. Everything you can say might be true. A liar's mouth can be full of truth. A broken clock can be right twice a day. And I'm not even calling dude like an outright liar. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody that's in this matrix is a liar, at some level. You know what I mean? That's how you got here. So it's just things that was said to me, that just conflict with the message. You know what I mean? Different things as far as me and Pharaoh that like conflict with the overall what we're doing here. Like he told me that nobody ever really heals. And like, if that's the truth, that's the truth. But how do I know that's the truth, or if that's just what you've experienced? And I get what he means, though. It takes full commitment. So nobody's really fully healing because they're not fully committing. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that insight at some level. But on another level, like, people need to take that into account when they go to you, that you've said these things and done these things. They need to take it into account. They can't be looking at this as like some mythical person that's beyond them. He can go beyond them once this matrix thing is over and people die and they move on. Maybe he'll be beyond them, but somebody's going to fill them Pharaoh shoes one way or another. Somebody's going to come in and be that role for this matrix one way or another, whether it's him or not. So it is what it is, man. So that's what I ask, man. Is it about the collective or is it about me or you? Because, the sense of urgency would be there if it's about the collective. I don't see why we would make anything private. You obviously are a wealth of information that people need to reach out to, or a person like that they need to reach out to. So I feel like, make it as available as possible. And then once you develop a base, then you can make all them videos private again and start charging for them on Patreon, whatever. It just doesn't make sense to me. So the other thing that I wanted to say beyond that, man, beyond the Pharaoh thing again, man, I love you, Pharaoh. I love you, man. I really do. Wouldn't be here without you. But again, I had to help myself to get help from you. So it took a lot. It took so many things of me helping, so many times of me caring about myself, helping myself to even pay for Dr. Africa's naturopath course that you were moderating for me to meet you. So it's like we meet in the middle there. Like, yeah, the student is selected by the teacher, but the teacher chose itself too. It chose, this myself chose me to be the student, to be chosen. So I know it's like, I'm not the student that he probably necessarily wants, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna just leave it there, man. I was thinking because like I was like, man, as far as like my character, man, who could really come at me, Like, who could really come at me, after watching the Nick thing happen? I'm just looking at it like, man, why am I seeing this, Why am I seeing somebody destroy themselves and lie to themselves and run and not want to learn? So I'm like, damn, why is this, why am I being shown this? It's a premonition one way or another. So I started thinking like, man, who could really say something about me? And the only people I could think about like was my man Tyron from back in the day. My boy Tyron back in the day, we went to high school together. We had a falling out a few years ago after my cousin got killed and the Alphabet Boys started hitting. People know what I was up to. You know what I mean? The Alphabet Boys was putting a damper on what was going on. So things happened to where his dealings with me wasn't the best. It's not like I outright beat him or nothing like that. It's just like, you lose time. When time gets lost, you know, you're gonna create disgruntled customers. So I'm sorry, Tyron. I really am, man. I love you, man. I tried to hit you up 2019 or 2020, I forget, to hit you with another outlet so that I could patch it up. You know what I mean? But I don't even know how to get in contact with you now, man. So I figure I'd say this now. My man Tyron, man. I love you, man. Like, I don't want no problems with you, man. I don't know if it's supposed to be on site when I see you. If it is, I'll just have to deal with that when it happens. But I just feel like I've been trying to patch it up, you know. And I know you got your own life that you worried about and things you're doing. So I've been trying to patch it up, and we can still, whatever you're trying to do now to patch it up, we could get that done. But I just felt like I had to say it because I just don't have any means of connecting with you anymore. So maybe you'll get this, or somebody will tell you about this. So, and another person I want to say sorry to, of course, would be Amy. I say sorry to Amy because I know we went so fast, and it's just like, it's just something that I can't really warn somebody. I can give people all disclaimers I want to give them, but I can't really warn them about all the shades in me because they can't. If they haven't seen all the shades show themselves, if my shades don't have an arena to show themselves in, then you'll never experience the shade until an arena or an event manifests itself for that shade to be exemplified, to show itself. And there's just other shades to me that, since we were moving so fast, there's other shades to me that you couldn't have met, and it would take time to meet. And if you wanted to meet those shades, then you would have to be really selfless about it and have no attachments about it, because my process isn't going to be like anybody's process that you've encountered before. And I feel like that's what makes it different, though. That's how we can still enjoy each other for the rest of life, one way or another, make music or something. I feel like we should be on the same team. If we're not on the same team, whoever it is, we dead to each other. So I don't want it to be that. So pretty much, I just want to say I'm sorry, man. I love you, Amy. Like, it's just a lot of moving parts. You know what I mean? And if we still here when the dust settles, man, we just go from there. But it's things that we both got to do that really neither one of us has the patience for, to sit around while we go through those things. You don't have, I don't have the patience to wait for you to go through your process of getting out of the matrix. And you don't have the patience for waiting for me to sort out my man-horism. So that's really it, man. That's kind of where it's at. Like, and I'm a lot more selective than I've ever been. And I just feel like I gotta be honest, man, or it's just gonna create more damage down the road to both of us. Because if I hurt you, it hurts me. And last people I want to say sorry to is the community, because I said 60 people could come here to be here, but I'm gonna cut it in half to 30, and it'll be 10 people a year for 3 years. We'll have to just slowly introduce 10 people a year for the next 3 years, And because I figured, I'm not going to get 60 reliable people that I could take their money and then bring the well here so that they could live here. The vetting process is going to have to be more intimate than just somebody giving me $100. So May 28th, everybody should come here for the event. We're going to have a great time. I had a circus tents out here, 76 acres to frolic in and enjoy ourselves. And we'll all talk and we'll all meet and we'll see who's who and what's what and who can stay. And then I'll have to reimburse you if things don't work out and they don't fit. So that's really about it, man. That's all I can really think about right now. So again, the books, you can get all 43 PDFs for $50. So it's like a little over $1 per PDF, or individually for 10. The audio books are individually 10, and the videos will be the instructional videos will be individually 10, but you can get it all for 100. And consultations 50 per half hour. And again, you guys should check out Pharaoh's House, man. Check out the Podasodes. It's like 10 years of Podasodes on there. Or if you search Pharaoh's House Podasode Archive in Google, you can get like another 100 Podasodes that aren't on Pharaoh's House. It's all there. Subscribe to his Patreon. Support Pharaoh, man. I mean, really, it's somebody that we need to appreciate while we're here. My personal relationship with Pharaoh is my personal relationship with Pharaoh, though. He might be at that point now where he has completely got over all those dysfunctions. But to me, again, if you can't teach me how to be perfect, then we should get along. Because you did behaviors in front of me that we both know is wrong. We both know it. No matter what you say or do, we both know, man. Let's level here. You know what I mean? Because I know when I'm in the wrong. You know what I mean? Like, let's just level. Like, at this point, like we can work together and reach millions of people, or we can work separately, and whatever happens, happens.